Hello, everybody. It's great to be here again. I was here 2 years ago, and I'm excited to tell you everything that has changed in the program since then. So this is a program of the Richard Dawkins Foundation for Reason and Science, and of course the Center for Inquiry. It's called the Teacher Institute for Evolutionary Science. I'm going to call it TIES the rest of the evening, or actually afternoon. I can't believe you're all still here. When I go home tomorrow and I go back to my life, I am just a teacher. I am a science teacher. And I often get asked, what does it feel like to be a teacher, a science teacher? And I could tell you, I do after 28 years in a science classroom. I really believe it's the greatest job on earth. And yesterday, James Alcock was talking about how sound travels from, in this case, me to you. And I've heard this so many times. I teach physical science, and I was still like, oh my God, that is so cool. And I get to do this every day for young people. But it's not just that. I don't just teach a body of knowledge, which is enough in and of itself. I get to teach a way of thinking. And you know what way of thinking that is. It is the way of thinking that everyone in this room espouses. It's critical thinking. But like all careers, there are pitfalls. And in my career, it's evolution education. All around this country, teachers feel the pressure to omit evolution altogether or downplay or de-emphasize evolution. Our job as teachers, a good teacher wants to make her class feel, her kids in her class feel comfortable. Kids don't learn if they're anxious or nervous or upset. And here is a topic that goes against what you're trying to create in the classroom, a friendly atmosphere of learning. Now, here's a picture, another picture of my kids. That's Tiktaalik in the middle. I'm holding a cast of Tiktaalik that Neil Shubin sent me. I don't have too many problems. I mean, I'm in South Florida, major metropolitan area. 70% of the kids are Hispanic, college-educated parents, coming from other countries, very high financial demographic. So I don't have that creationist culture that a lot of teachers around the country deal with. And yet I have issues. I have kids who are outright defiant. I have kids who turn their chairs to the wall when I teach evolution. The worst thing was a young lady coming to me in tears telling me that her pastor told her that I was a disgusting human being. I am not. I'm a nice person, you know, it kills you. And why? Why are science teachers around the country dealing with this when there are statements like this from the most important scientific organizations in our country? If you do a poll of active scientists, nearly 100% or virtually 100% of scientists accept evolution. So why this issue? I think the National Science Teachers Association position statement on evolution says it best. A century of political controversy has prevented evolution from being emphasized in science curricula. A show of hands, although I cannot really see anybody with these lights, but yeah, oh yeah, okay, show of hands with no, it's okay. I don't mind not seeing everybody. It makes it easier. I'm just pretending you're my students. That's what I'm doing right now. But are there states in this country that are not allowed to teach evolution? Are there states in this country where creationism is taught alongside evolution? Okay, let's see. Why is that the case when in 1968, we have to teach evolution, and well, now we do, but bans on teaching evolution were considered unconstitutional in 1968. And creationism, and these are just a few of the cases, creationism was considered unconstitutional in 1975. Of course, we're just going to change the name of creationism to creation science, and that's going to keep going until 1987. And then, of course, we're just going to change the name to intelligent design, which is just creationism in a tuxedo, basically, and that's going to go on till 2005. I love this cartoon shared to me by Stephanie Keep of the National Center for Science Education. They just keep changing the name, you know, changing the name. So this should be done now, right? 2005. You can't do this stuff in science classrooms anymore. So where are we today? We are at the academic freedom stage, where we're supposed to position evolution as, you know, theory, not fact, teach the controversy. And of course, we love these words in this class. And see, I thought, you guys are my students. We love the words in this room. But no, do you know, chemists are not supposed to teach alchemy. It's done. Neurologists are not supposed to teach phrenology. We need to move on here. But it has had an effect. As the National Science Teachers Association has said, it has had an effect. 62% of Americans favor teaching creationism along with evolution in our public schools. And how about where are we? This was a simple question. Humans evolved. True, false? Can you find the United States? I'll help you. There we are. Okay, right above Turkey. So, yikes. So, how does this affect our teachers? Well, 31% of teachers feel they feel pressured to include creationism. The pressure is coming from students and parents. 30% feel pressure to omit or de-emphasize evolution. And this is the whopper. This is the one that kills us. 13 to 16% of high school bio teachers say that the world was created and everybody just got here the way we are now 6,000 years ago. Yeah. And, you know, to make matters worse, they're not just getting it from public opinion. This is, I know you can't read that, but this is what you call a curriculum guide. It's from Troup County, Georgia. It tells teachers how to teach a lesson, and this is how science teachers in Troup County, Georgia are supposed to start their evolution unit. Are you ready? Could you please turn to him and explain to him what a zombie is? Okay, could you turn to her and explain to her what an alien is? I'll give you 5 minutes. And then the teacher's supposed to say, now, Johnny, you don't believe in aliens, but now you know what they are. And you don't believe in zombies, but now you know what they are. Okay, boys and girls, now we're going to learn evolution. And you don't need to believe evolution, but now you know what it is. Here's a better example. At the National Education Association meeting for the last 17 years, Ken Ham has had a table where he's given away thousands of CDs and books. And I looked into this, and I could tell you at the costume party more about it because I don't have the time, but they're trying to close the loophole that gives him the ability to do this. But he's in the 2018 schedule because I looked him up. So teachers are confused, and this confusion leads to what we call the cautious middle. You have that 13% on one side, this is high school bio, that espouses creationism. You have 28 or so percent on the other side that has got, you know, good teaching going on in their classrooms, and then you have this cautious middle. And according to a major study, this might hinder scientific literacy in this country more than that 13%, that red end over there. So that cautious middle, yes, what can be done? If all science teachers took a course in evolutionary biology, a study proved that that would help more than all the court cases I mentioned combined. I love this quote, and I truly believe it. A good teacher can teach anything, just give him or her the content and the resources to do it. Should we be hopeful? Is Bill Nye still here? Ah, darn. He was in my presentation. Should we be hopeful? Well, I think so. I really, really think so. 60% acceptance of evolution in the US, depending on how you ask the question. But there's a 68% acceptance of evolution among people under 30. And you may argue that that is due to an overall loss of religiosity, but perhaps this younger group of adults has also received a better science education. So shouldn't we be an important part of this trend? Yes, I've been asked that again. Shouldn't we, as Center for Inquiry members, be an important part of this trend? Yes! Thank you. Enter Teacher Institute for Evolutionary Science. We are, I think, an important part of this trend. Let me tell you how ties began. Personal piece here. I am a lifelong Richard Dawkins fan. I went to Catholic school for 13 years, and it just didn't make sense. I read The Selfish Gene as a college student, and it just absolutely shifted my paradigm. I read every book after that, and I had the honor of meeting him at the University of Miami in 2013, small event, sitting at a table. Evolution education came up among the college professors, and he was appalled. I was appalled. I went back to my class and said, I can do something about this in my own little microcosm world. I'm going to help my fellow science teachers at my middle school teach evolution better. and we went over Your Inner Fish and a few other really awesome books. I met him again a year later, and I told him what I had done. And he said, "Can I help?" I said, "Well, of course you do help. I use your books. I use your videos." He goes, "No. I mean, can I come and speak to these teachers?" Okay, that is a proverbial walk the walk, not just talk the talk. I am a middle school science teacher, and he offered to come to my middle school and talk to those 7 teachers. Now, shout out to my school district, they realized what an amazing thing this was. So they opened it up to all the science teachers in the school district. And it just so happened that on that day, there's only 4 times a year that teachers get out early students get out early so teachers can have professional development. It was one of those 4 days. God was with us. I thanked God. No, I didn't. I'm joking. That's my son in the red sweater. So, and the other thing, I have to thank Robin Brumner, and I have to thank the Dawkins Foundation and the Center for Inquiry, because they just really let me do this my way. And actually, you really didn't know me that well, so I think you need to be a little more skeptical. Okay? But they let me do it my way, and this is what I decided. First of all, content. Follow that quote. Give them good content. All of our stuff meets the standards of all states, or exceeds, in many cases, the science standards of all states. Give them good resources. They have to be free. They have to be modifiable. Teachers send me stuff. I take a good look at it. So it's a place where teachers can come, like a hub, and add their own resources to the website. Thank you, Mark. Must explain the word theory. If I had $1 for every time kids said to me, evolution is just a theory, oh my goodness. And I tell them, that this word means 2 different things. It's like, I have a theory the Miami Dolphins are going to win the Super Bowl. You can say that, but not if you put the word scientific in front of the word theory. And the other misconception that we really deal with at the TIES events or workshops, which, by the way, I should have said this, we have workshops for teachers, professional development for teachers. That's what TIES does. I hate this ladder of progress thing. I have to so many times explain this to the teachers who don't understand this, and that's one of the other misconceptions we address. 4th, scientific inquiry. And I really want to have a good talk with Robin, because I have lots of good ideas after this SciCon event. And I had to run upstairs at 10:30 today and add this photograph. Speaking of scientific inquiry, the gentleman on the left is my grandfather opening the very first box of polio vaccine arriving in Havana, Cuba in 1955. So, isn't that cool? I love this picture, but it establishes my credentials among you, I think, to have your grandfather be the first person to open the polio vaccine boxes in Cuba. So we really promote the idea of scientific inquiry. That's the umbrella under which everything else we do falls. I do a lot of current relevance of evolutionary biology. It's not just Darwin and everything. Show kids what's going on today. This is a big one. Religion should make no difference. This particular slide has links to great videos, but I say here you have a non-believer, Dawkins. Here you have an excellent scientist, Kenneth Miller, who happens to be a devout Catholic. If you were lucky enough to have one of these 2 gentlemen teach your evolution unit, there should be no difference in the content they provide. And you see the teachers, in the workshop, going like that, like, hey, I'm going to use that in my classroom. And finally, we give teachers support. We get a lot of letters like this. Hey, what should we do? This Christian parent wants us to teach creationism. I say, this is what you say. Thanks for your suggestion. But the curriculum for the class is set by the district in conformity with the state's science education standards. What does this do for the teacher? It says, it ain't going to happen. I have no control over this, and I'm not addressing this anymore. So teachers don't even know they're allowed to say things like this. We also give them position statements. They have no idea that these organizations have all given them wonderful statements that they can use to back up why they're teaching what they're teaching. So I know this is the slide you've been waiting for, or I hope this is the slide we've been waiting for. We started in 2015 with 10 workshops. Last time I was here, I was walking on air because we had 27 workshops, if you add those 2 years together. 2017 was a banner year. You ready? Boom! Boom! And this year was pretty good. I just got West Virginia, well, it's like our third one in West Virginia a couple days ago. So for a grand total of, in 3 years, 116 workshops, 58 different presenters in 42 US states. I'm tired. Here's our map. 42 states, that's not bad. We have 8 to go. Can you find your state up there? So that's where we've been. That's where we've been. Obviously, Florida's had the most because I'm there. North Carolina's the second most. Arizona's coming up. I'm excited about that one. Here's some TIES Teacher Corps members. Most of them are AP Biology teachers. And I had to, there's one more. She's here. Kathleen, where are you? Kathleen did her TIES workshop in a church. She's over there. And she sent this to me this morning. I mean, that is too funny. That is too funny. Here's some more. The guy hugging the tree is our Louisiana, Mississippi guy. I love him. These are some teachers in our workshops. We do a lot of hands-on. And then what I do is everything we present in the workshop, we give them a folder to take it home, plus digital copies, of course. And again, all the labs are under $5. Like Publix, you could go to the supermarket and get these labs. Lots of online stuff. These are what teachers are saying about the workshops. You could go ahead and read those, but we get really, really good reviews, really good evaluations. The only negative one was, this workshop is too short. And this is my favorite. I got this week. I cannot thank you enough for what you've done in making TIES the most useful EVOL Ed group for middle schoolers in the country. In fact, that came from Dallas, Texas this week, so that's really awesome. Of course, well-trained teachers means better educated kids, so you can see them doing the exact same labs that the teachers were doing. Lots of data collection, varied assessments. Science education is really cool these days. It's not open your book to page 80 and do 1 through 10. That doesn't happen. It's really evidence-based, hands-on learning. It's really fun to teach science. Yeah, doing the timeline, Earth's timeline history on somebody's arm with makeup, that was fun. So what's new this year? I'm almost done. I got it all in. First of all, I'm really always looking for partnerships with museums, universities, zoos, community stakeholders. They're already there, they're already in place, teachers already go to these places for professional development. So, and then there's scientists. You know, every time you reach out to a scientist, they answer back. And they're really nice. Did you know that? There's a bunch of them here. So here's some, I started a webinar series. So once a month we do a free webinar. Wait, I'm gonna do something that'll really bother some of the people in here. Wait. That would drive my kids crazy. I have honor students, they're all like a little bit type A. I am too, so that's really bothering me right now. It's true. So once a month, I invite a scientist to come online and do a webinar, and it's completely open to anybody. It doesn't have to be a teacher or student. Richard did one on Easter Sunday, and neither one of us realized that it was Easter Sunday. And that shows you, where we're coming. And people are like, you did that on purpose, didn't you? I'm like, no, really, I really didn't do that on purpose. Here's a few more. So it's fun. These are fun to have these scientists on with me. And this one I'm very excited about. I've been trying to break into the homeschooling market for 3 years. Yeah, exactly. But if you stick the word secular in front of the word homeschooling, they want this kind of stuff. And I finally made a wonderful partnership with the largest homeschooling group in the country. They're 60,000 members strong. And I'm doing a private webinar series just for them. We've done 3. We have 2 more on the calendar. And they ask really fun questions, and they have the kids sitting next to them, and these are really good, so that's fun. We've been in the news quite a bit. Talk Nerdy, I was on there. We were in the August issue of Scientific American. TIES was. That's pretty neat. And this is it. I want to really tell you about next weekend. I'm excited about this. We have a partnership with the Birmingham Zoo. It's going to be our first Alabama workshop. It's a full-day event, so I'm flying there. I do the longer ones. And I polled the teachers coming, and they want human evolution covered. So I invited Nathan Lentz. His book company is paying for his trip. He wrote this wonderful book about all the mistakes in the human body because fish were never meant to walk on two legs. Somebody's coming with skulls from the local university, and I created a lab to go with this that's just paper instead of skulls, because skulls are very expensive. And my reasoning there was I want the teachers to have somebody they can later invite to their classrooms, a local scientist. And I also have a Valdosta professor coming to do the latest research on the evolution of skin color in Alabama. I think that's a good thing. And then I got a bunch of people to donate stuff, including these two wonderful companies. And this is why I'm so nervous. HBO is coming. Man. So they're going to film the whole day. And then they're following one of those teachers back to their classrooms and show how his name is Ben, will be implementing the TIES resources that he receives and learns how to use at the event. So we'll keep you posted on that. And that's it. Thank you.
Thanks for watching. If you liked this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and ring that bell to be notified about new videos. You can follow us on social media, and if you really love what we do, consider supporting us with a donation. Links to all that good stuff is in the description below.